Hey, Sassy Stuff, what's up? My name is Molly. I'm back with Emma this week to talk all things softball. Let's get right into it. First off, we want to talk about our player of the week. Every week we choose a player that we feel was outstanding. And this week we chose Robyn Herron from a junior from Arkansas. She had an amazing week this week. She pitched a 12 no hitter in the program history. Like had a no hitter. That's already phenomenal. And then it's the 12th to be done in the entire Arkansas college softball history. That is crazy. She struck out a season high of 11 batters against ULM with no hitters. This is what's crazy to me. She was on an academic honor roll last season and also winning pitcher of the week for the SEC at one point during her spring semester. So she's very athletic. She's on an honor roll. You can tell that she works really hard. And honestly, as a freshman, she had 13 out of 24 game appearances she started. As a sophomore, she started 19 out of 29 appearances. So now she's a junior. She's throwing no hitters. I mean, this girl is amazing. I'm fascinated by her. If I'm being honest. She's originally from Tampa, Florida. She wanted to come to Arkansas because of the energy from the school. She came and toured. She got offered to be on the team. She came and toured, and she said it was just an amazing energy. And I will say, when I watch the Razorbacks in any sport, their fan base is pretty large. Like, I think with the home games especially, they are rowdy. The energy is great. So I don't blame her for picking that school at all. And especially she's thriving there. I mean, as a freshman starting so many games, then as a sophomore starting a bunch of games, and then now as a junior, she's throwing no hitters. So I think she's phenomenal. Congrats to you. And we can't wait to see you next week, Robyn.
And I have another Arkansas girl I want to talk about. Arkansas is making a big splash early in the season. Bree Ellis is named SEC Softball Player of the Week. Her batting average against Louisiana Tech was .667. She had 4 home runs, 15 RBIs, and 12 at-bats. So she was absolutely sensational. For her career, this is her 4th career SEC Player of the Week honor. She is the first Arkansas player to win back-to-back awards last season. Let's see if she can do it again next week. And looking at this Arkansas team, they are 10-0 right now. So they're off to the best start in program history. So this is a sensational start for Arkansas. So we're excited to see where they go. And I have one more girl I do want to talk about, LSU's Jaden Heavener. She is named SEC's Freshman of the Week. This is her 2nd consecutive SEC Freshman of the Week honor. In Game 1 versus number 21 Northwestern, it was a complete game victory, 12 strikeouts, 4 hits, 1 run, and 5 walks. Game 2 versus number 17 Virginia Tech, she had 5 strikeouts, and it was scoreless through the first 5 innings. Absolutely sensational.
But when she steps into the circle, she's strong and confident, and I think that is the most important thing. And I think if I was a batter, I'd be scared of her a little bit.
little bit. But we're going to talk about South Carolina. They had a dominant run rule victory over App State. For those of you who don't know what that is in college softball, the run rule typically applies when one team leads by 8 or more runs after 5 innings. At this point, the home plate umpire can just say, game over. You did enough to win. And they did enough to win here. So how'd you feel about this game?
There were actually a few run rule games this weekend in the SEC, which was kind of interesting to me. I think it was kind of cool because USC is still undefeated. So seeing them undefeated, and then also it's not like it's a tough game for them. They just are smashing these teams. They're incredibly strong. Their batters are insane. The batting lineup is insane. Being able to come back into a season and they're literally run ruling these games, and we're only into week 2. This is kind of crazy. But I'm excited to see if they can keep up the same energy coming up, because right now the teams that they're playing, we talk about this a lot of the strength of schedule. The teams that they're playing, not as difficult as the teams that they're going to be playing in the next 2 weeks. So I'm interested to see if they can keep up this energy of dominating undefeated young women. And I'm excited for it. I hope that they are. It's an exciting sport to be watching right now.
So I cannot wait till we get to SEC play to really see these girls face off against each other and see how that really shakes up the rankings moving forward. The next game we want to talk about is Oklahoma. Sam Landry threw a perfect game versus Baylor. So, how do you feel about her?
Once again, we're talking about a team that had two 5 inning run rules back to back. I mean, this isn't like crazy. I felt amazing about this weekend for them. I love college softball because there's multiple games going on. So like Texas had 4 games this weekend. So we're talking about these teams that are able to come in and throw a perfect pitch, a perfect game, and then they're able to do it again right after, like an hour later. It's like, let me get a snack and then I'm gonna do it again. So I loved this. I loved everything about it. The Sooners have won, run rule 5 times this season so far. OU opens the Love Field this week, hosting Tulsa, Wichita State, Bowling Green. This is a big tournament this weekend. So I think if OU can keep up the energy that they have now, I think that they'll bring home their first Love Fields trophy, which I would love to see just because it's their first time there and it's their first time hosting. However, this last weekend, they just, I can't wait for them to play a team like Texas. This is where, once again, we're going to get into this is starting out, we're kind of easing into the season. So I would like to see the more difficult games.
It's so important for this OU team to have an easier start just so they can like mesh and meld and get coached up, because this is a completely new team from the last 4 years. So hopefully this slower start really allows them to figure out how to be dominant again with this entirely new roster in a way. So we'll see if they can keep it up once they get these harder matchups coming, especially in SEC play. But you did hit on your Texas Longhorns in there a little bit. So how do you feel that Texas is doing so far?
They're doing great. I want to give props because like a team like Texas obviously has seniority in the conference right now, but a team like OU right now, I want to give props to the fact that they are kind of in their rebuilding stage and they are starting off so amazing this year. However, with Texas, they're number one because I think they know the league, they know the conference, they know the teams. Like I said, softball's awesome because they had multiple games last weekend, including 2 Texas Tech games. They played Texas Tech on Friday and Sunday at the tournament. They beat them both times. The Bevo Classic is very fun. It's their kind of like their big home opening tournament, and there's a lot of fans that go. It's very big. The orange is oranging in this one. With Texas win over Maryland, the Longhorns are now 26-3 all time in home opening softball games over the 29 years of history. I think Mike White is doing a fantastic job with this team. He has not lost a season opener yet. So I find that quite interesting. And maybe it's the strength of schedule. Maybe they're opening these home games with, cupcake teams. I'm not sure. But I think overall they're going to have a great season because of the team that they have. I think they are well stacked. And it's just if they can keep that momentum going and there's no flare-ups, no injuries, I think Mike White's going to have a great season with his girls.
Yeah, I definitely see it for Texas. And this offense is amazing. They are producing consistently. They've had 5 double-digit scoring games so far.
I mean, the defense is huge. I mean, they're including Friday night, they had a 9-inning affair with the Red Raiders. They have not played a softball game that has lasted exactly more than 7 innings since March 26th of 2023, a span of 7 games. So
that's amazing.
Their offense, they're running in the double digits, but their defense is amazing. They're stopping the game or they're keeping it close enough to make it very entertaining. And that's what I want to see in college football. I want to see an entertaining game. I think the run rule games are kind of interesting because it's like a big slap in the face in a way. But I also want to be able to see teams. I want to be interested. I want to be intrigued. If it's a run rule every game, that gets boring for everybody.
Yeah. I wish I could do that in a few other sports too. I'm like, sometimes these games get out of hand.
Super Bowl.
Like, just end it now.
Super Bowl.
Super Bowl, I was like, can we end this now? Who are you guys excited about in softball this year? Who are you watching? What matchups are you most excited for, especially when we get into SEC play? I know Molly's ready for that Texas OU game. She wants to see her Longhorns come out on top. So, who are you guys watching? Who do you want us to cover more of? These are the teams we were excited for this week. So, let us know in the comments below. Follow us on all platforms, and we will see you next time. Bye bye.